How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today's video is a bit different. It's going to be my predictions for the 2019-2020 season. So what we're going to be doing is the Premier League first, and then we'll get on to other leagues. But before we get started, if you do enjoy, please do like and subscribe for more content, more football content, more predictions, help with fantasy team, and a lot of FIFA 20 videos. So let's get straight into it. So we're going to do the Premier League predictions. I'm just going to do the top 6 and the bottom 3 because I think it's quite tricky doing the full league really. It's really hard to place, and I don't think that would work as well. So we're going to start. Number 6 is Chelsea. Now, Chelsea fans might not be happy with this. I just think they're in a real sort of strange place at the moment. They've lost David Luiz to Chelsea, and I'm not sure how they will score the goals to replace the impact Eden Hazard had. They've got new players coming back, so Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, all I think are actually really good players. And they've got some good players to come back, so the Willian, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I just think it's going to take a while for them to really settle in and all gel together under Lampard. I think you saw that they lacked experience in the last game against Man United. So that is why Chelsea are finishing in 6th, in my opinion. They have signed Pulisic though, so he could be a good signing for them. But let's just see how he adapts to the Premier League. So in 5th, we have Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, this could go one of two ways. I think Arsenal or Man United will finish either 5th or 4th. They've made some brilliant signings. They've really addressed all the weak spots in the team. Tierney, Pepe, Ceballos, David Luiz, brilliant signings. But I think it'll be interesting to see how their mentality is from last year away from home. So they really struggled on the road last year. And I think that will maybe just keep them outside the top 4. But I could be proven wrong. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe as a front 3. Ozil in behind. Torreira. It's like a really quality team. So for me, it's either Arsenal or Man United. In this list, I've gone Arsenal to be finishing 5th. For 4th, as I said, Man United. They haven't done crazy stuff in the transfer market like Arsenal did, but you have to remember they've signed Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. That they are 2 starting players in the team. It means that Jones or Smalling don't have to get anywhere near the team. I'm sure we'll see them in cup matches, but in the Premier League, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, not as good, but Wan-Bissaka, all top quality defenders. So I expect that defence to carry them through some important matches and actually get them a lot of clean sheets, especially with De Gea in behind. The attack, though, could let them down with Rashford, Martial. You've got Greenwood, Chong. These are all really young players, and to see how they replace Lukaku is going to be very interesting. Positive signs in the first match against Chelsea, but we'll have to see. It's only the first game of the season. Can't really look too much into it. I expect them to grow, though, as the season goes on. So hopefully they can really push on this year. Up in 3rd, we do have Tottenham. They finished 4th last year, I think, behind Chelsea. But they've made some good purchases. Ndombele, Sessegnon, I think it's Lo Celso. They've spent a lot of money, made their record signing. And Ndombele had a mixed first game, obviously scored, great strike, but did give the ball away quite a few times. I expect him to grow further as the season goes on, and I think he will be one of the best purchases of the season. Runners-up in the Champions League last year had a lot of fortune on the way, and I don't think they will get as far in the Champions League. I think they will not push Liverpool and City just as hard, but I expect them to finish 3rd, especially if Eriksen stays. I don't think he's going anywhere before the end of the season. So yeah, that is in 3rd, Tottenham. In 2nd, we do have Liverpool. So, not made any significant signings in the summer, which is very strange. But doesn't actually surprise me because they made a lot of purchases last year and in the January transfer window, I think, as well. Maybe they're saving to spend some money next year. I heard a few things on Twitter, saving to buy Jadon Sancho, which would be obviously a massive signing for them. But they're such a balanced team now. They've really strengthened every part. The defence is solid, midfield really good. Joe Gomez coming back, I think, would be massive for them. Next to Van Dijk, they've got two of the best fullbacks in the league, probably the best attack as well. So when you look at them on paper, it's brilliant. But one thing that I think they do lack compared to the team I have picked in first is depth. So obviously champions, again, unfortunately, we've gone for Manchester City. They've strengthened so much that you didn't think would be possible. Rodri, Cancelo, that competition there with Fernandinho and Walker will only make them existing players even stronger. The bench is ridiculous. I think Mourinho said Manchester City B team would win the title, and then I've actually seen reports, would it actually finish first? And it genuinely would push for a title spot. They've lost Sane for the rest of the season, it looks like, but there's only one team in the league that could lose a player of Sane's quality, and still no one's really batted an eyelid. They just demolished teams. You saw against West Ham, they just demolished them. They don't really exhaust too much energy. So that is why Man City, I think they will have the fitness, the quality, the squad depth to push on towards the end of the season and ultimately finish first again. So up next we have the teams I think are going to be relegated from the 2019-2020 Premier League season. In 20th place I've put Sheffield United. I think it's quite tough, to be honest, for Sheffield United. They've brought in a few good players, McBurney, they've brought in Ravel Morrison, and they've brought in Jagielka. Now, Ravel Morrison can either be really good or really bad. Like, you don't know exactly what he's going to do, but he's got all the quality, so we will see how he does. Jagielka's a Premier League experienced defender, but I'm not sure if he's really got the pace anymore to keep up with the really top attackers. So that is why Sheffield United, in my opinion, will finish 20th. They have signed, though, on loan, Dean Henderson again, who's a really solid goalkeeper for them, helped them get promoted last year. So maybe that togetherness will help them. They haven't bought massive amount of players like the team you can see on the screen as well. In 19th place, in my opinion, will be Norwich. Now, I watched them play against Liverpool and they had quite a lot of opportunities, but the thing was, they're trying to play their own style away from home against Liverpool. That is like the European champions. I don't think you can go there and expect to play your football and get a result. Now, I watched Pukki, did really well in the Championship last year. I think he will do well in the Premier League this year. But ultimately, they need to change their playing style away from home. If they don't, they're not going to get many results on the road. So, that in 19th spot is Norwich. 18th. Now, Aston Villa, similar to Norwich, did well against Spurs in the first half. Got the goal, but ultimately lost 3-1. Now, do they need to change their playing style? I think so, but I'm no manager, so we'll see how they get on in the rest of the season. But they've bought a lot of players, some interesting players like Trezeguet. If you play FIFA, you might have seen his team of the season card. I'm not sure if they will be able to gel together really as well as they hope. They've got good players like Grealish and McGinn, who did score. I think they'll be really good for them this season, and I don't think it'll take long for Grealish to get rid of his losing streak. I think he's on like an 18-game losing streak. I think that'll turn around, but I think ultimately they will get relegated. Now, this was tricky because I think other teams like Newcastle under Steve Bruce, if it was Rafa Benitez, I don't think there would be as much questions, but Newcastle could definitely be down this list. I'm not sure how they're going to score goals. Joe Linton looks really good, but that was one game. I mean, didn't score. Looked good, but I'm not sure whether he will be able to do it for a full season. Alain Saint-Maxime looked nice, but is he a sort of luxury player? Can they afford to have a player like him in the team right now? But yeah, that is the relegated teams. Let's get on to the PFA Award winners, in my opinion, and the top scorer. Here is the top scorer, in my opinion. It is Harry Kane. Now, Harry Kane was quite close last year, but ultimately I think injuries did cost him. He's won it in the past few years, and I think if he stays fit, he's going to get it. He scored 2 the other night. He is so ruthless. I remember when he came on the scene, he was like, people were saying he's a one-season wonder. He's definitely not now. He's so good. Both feet, just clinical finisher. So I think Harry Kane, but honourable mentions to Aubameyang. And onto the award winners. So we've got Raheem Sterling is my Player of the Year pick. Scored a hat-trick in the first game. He's just getting better and better under Pep. Now, he won the Young Player of the Year last year. Not sure how. The age is a bit dodgy for the Young Player of the Year. But I think it will be Raheem Sterling. As for the Young Player of the Year, I think it could be this man, Marcus Rashford. Now, he's 21 at the moment, so not the youngest in football terms, but he's going to be massive for Man U this year. He's going to be starting pretty much every Premier League game. If he can score like he did against Chelsea quite often, I think he really could push for that Young Player of the Year award. I think it's the responsibilities on him now. He's really high rated by Man United, and he's got to take the responsibility and push on and reward Man United with a lot of good performances. So here's my pick for the Young Player of the Year. Let's see how they get on. I'm sure I'll come back to this, maybe laugh, maybe I've done really well. But now we're going to look at the other top 5 leagues and also the Champions League and my Europa League winners. So here we go into the remaining top 4 leagues. These are my predictions for who will finish first. So, Bundesliga, I've gone for Borussia Dortmund. Now, this will be the first time they will have beaten Bayern to the title in 7 years. They've bought really well in Hummels, Schultz, Thorgan Hazard, Brandt and Alcacer, all for brilliant prices as well, must add. They've got Jadon Sancho and Royce, who were both firing last year. I expect them to do even better this year, and hopefully they will win the title. It's been a long time. I think they will just about beat Bayern. Bayern have lost Robben, Ribéry, got a few young players coming through, but ultimately haven't bought anyone to replace them as of yet. Just signed Perisic on loan. Could he be that man? They wanted Sane, they wanted Hudson-Odoi, haven't got any of them. Gone for Perisic. Not sure if he will be exactly the impact that them players would have had, like a Sane, but I think Dortmund could surprise people and win the title this year. In La Liga, I've gone for Barcelona. Real Madrid have probably won the transfer market with Hazard. They've bought Mendy, Jovic, unbelievable players. But ultimately, Barcelona is just a tight-knit group. Fans aren't too happy with the manager, but you've got Messi, Suarez, Griezmann, Ousmane Dembele, Neymar coming in potentially, Coutinho, De Jong, 7 unbelievable players, and I haven't even talked about the defence or the bench. As for the Serie A, I've gone for Juventus. Simple pick really, Ronaldo. Bought De Ligt. Got Aaron Ramsey on a free, Rabiot. Always get really good players on the free, Juventus. And lastly, probably the easiest one, PSG. Easily win the league for them. Even without Neymar, they've got Mbappe. Got really, really good players. So that is the top 4 leagues. And up next, we've got Champions League and Europa League winners. Now, this was a bit trickier, I have to say. Not entirely 100% on these choices, but we've got Juventus. They've got, like I said, Ronaldo, De Ligt, Aaron Ramsey coming in could do really well for them. The whole team is just stacked, and with Dybala possibly staying, I think they will do a real push. Ronaldo is not going to want to miss out on the Champions League again. I feel like he'll be really unhappy if they don't win the Champions League. As for the Europa League, I've gone for Arsenal. Now, they got to the final last year, were beat quite comfortably by Chelsea, but I think they have the squad which could do well in the Europa League, and Unai Emery is not going to push the Europa League to one side, like maybe Man United will. I think Man United don't have the squad to compete in the Europa League, although the last time they were in it, they did win it. But I think Arsenal will just go that one step further and will win the Europa League. Now, that is the end of the predictions. If you do agree or disagree, please let me know down in the comments. I've watched videos like this before and I've always thought, what the hell is he doing that for? That choice is wrong. So if you do have any comments, please let me know. That is just my predictions. I'm ultimately going to look back on this in a year. Maybe I've made some stupid predictions, but that is it for today. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you all later.